Hey, Uncle Chuck, it's Mark, your nephew, of course. Hey, I put a video on YouTube of my new John Deere tractor blowing some snow. My mom sent me an email saying you'd like to see it, that you weren't feeling so well. So I thought I'd shoot a little bit more extensive video for you. So as you know, we moved to Afton. I don't know if you know where that's at. It's on the eastern side of the Twin Cities, right up against the St. Croix River. And we built a house here. Got about 5 acres out here. We went from 60,000 people in Woodbury to 3,000, which is vastly different, as you can imagine. Not quite like where you're at, but certainly feels a lot more like it on the country. Had about 5 acres, lots of room. Not a huge driveway. I know you do all the roads up there for your neighbors, but I wanted to get a John Deere, big turnaround. But here's kind of the house. You can see that roof. I don't know if you can tell, it's a 2012 pitch, and when that snow blows off of there, you just get a ton of snow right here. Yesterday it was 6 inches of snow. I had about 3-4 feet of snow bank to cut through. So that's the video I shot. So here's the John Deere. I know you've got a big one. I know how much this one was, so I can only imagine what yours cost here. Let me try to get a better. So it's a 738 4-wheel drive, not the 4-wheel steering. I decided not to get that. 47-inch blower on it, and then a 54-inch deck. And this deck is the type, I don't know if you've seen these, where you can just unhook it and drive over it, which is kind of nice. You don't have to wiggle it out from underneath. So she does really, really good. I'm impressed with it. I haven't had a riding tractor, but I wanted the 4-wheel drive for snow, and boy, does she cut through the stuff. You know, in my little research, my father-in-law, before he passed away, had a 5 Series, and it was a nice tractor, but when they redid it, they really took a lot of the quality, at least it felt like they took a lot of the quality out of it. So this new 7 Series kind of keeps that. I think this is the first line where you really get back into that nicer quality tractor. So that's really all I have. I've got the blower, the deck, dump trailer, and then a sprayer and a spreader over there for the lawn. But I pull this cheap trailer around quite a bit and haul firewood and stuff around with it. So she works really, really well. Hey, I thought I'd also show you the workshop, being a woodworker that you are. So I gotta close this garage door. It's cold. Not as cold as up there, I know, but too cold for me. So when we built the house, we wanted to, I wanted a separate building, but I decided not to. One, it was just certainly more expensive, a lot cheaper just to build it on the back of the garage. So what I did is I built on the back of the garage, and it is about an 18, and it should be warmer in here, 18 by 24 shop. So here's where I just came in. I don't know if you can understand. I came through the back of the garage, 18 by 24. And I really focused on the electrical, because in my old shop, you know, I built a house and I decided to put in a shop and a third stall, and I was always popping breakers. One, I only had like 2 outlets. They're both 110, and of course I'd pop them constantly. Have to go inside, run downstairs, pop the circuit, etc. So here I've got 110. I've got a separate panel outside here. I think I've got a 100 amp panel if I remember right. And I've got 110 and a couple 220s. I got a 220 here for a future air conditioner. And then I think just one 220 up on the ceiling, which I don't use. I don't have any 220 tools right now. But this is it. The other thing I did before I set it up is I made sure I put the dust collection in. So before all the tools were in, I designed the dust collection. I went hardcore on this because I was always cleaning up, and you know, I have asthma, and it's more and more evident that sawdust can cause all kinds of respiratory issues, as you know, with your father. So this is what I bought. This is a Penn State Cyclone dust collector. If I remember right, it's 2 horsepower. It's in the actual garage side, so when I shut these doors, the noise is insulated a bit. And then you can see it's punching through the wall there. I hope you get this video. I hope it downloads properly. And it comes through here, right? And then I've got a couple trunk lines, so I'm running one all the way to the edge, or to the wall, and down to the opposite corner. And then I'm running one across the middle of the shop. So got all this from Penn State. A lot of effort to set up before all the tools were in. Every seam is siliconed and foil taped, so there's no CFM loss. And then I come down to these blast gates, right? And they're hooked up to the machine. And it, you know, you're always going to have some spillage, right? You can't get all the dust, but it sure helps a lot. A couple of things I really wanted was, in my old shop I had a rickety dust collector, but you would turn it on, open the gate, and then turn the tool on, use the tool, shut the tool off, turn the dust collector off, shut the gate. It just got kind of laborious and got lazy after a while. So here, all these are wired. You can see here, 2, and the wire runs all the way back to the dust collector. So each one of these blast gates has got a little switch on it, wired back to an auto switch there. So that auto switch senses whether that gate's been opened, and if it has, it turns on the dust collector automatically. So there's a switch for the dust collector, but the auto gate is regulating that. So you've got the dust bin as well as the dust filter. So here I'll show you. I'll turn one on here. Let's go back to the miter saw. Watch, it doesn't work or something though. I think you can hear that. When it makes contact again, it just shuts off. So each one of those handles that. And you can see here on the table saw, I'll just kind of walk through some of my tools. I've got a built-in, this is probably the nicest tool I have, a built-in router table into the wing of the table saw. The table saw is nothing fancy, it's just a rigid. I'd like to upgrade that someday, but it does fine. And then I've got a Porter Cable 2 horsepower router underneath there with a bench dog router table. This is really accurate and does a very nice job, so that's, again, probably my nicest tool. This I just got for Christmas, so I noticed with the dust collector, I've got it hooked up underneath, right? But there's just so much spitting out the top. So this is also from Penn State, and it's just a little hood that sucks them up. So when I turn on the dust collector, or the gate for the table saw, I'm sucking down, and I'm sucking up from the table. And it's all routing up here, etc. Some of the other things I have, lumber storage. I need a couple more of those shelves. Obviously, an air compressor, some Desi clamps. If you're familiar with Desi clamps, they're kind of the standard in woodworking for glue-ups. Really nice. Never have enough of those, of course. And then over here, back to the dust collection. This is nice. I'm glad I did this. So I've got kind of a dedicated cleanup area with a dustpan. So when I turn that on, I can just sweep right into that, as well as hose and hand vac. That'll traverse the entire shop. So that makes it easy. If it's not easy to clean up, you just don't do it. So you gotta do it. Workbench, I want to put some slat wall in above that, not pegboard. Same with over there. Found some on Craigslist that Andy got for me. Just waiting for some delivery. Some old tools. Picked those up in garage sales. I think those hand saws were my father-in-law's before he passed away. Or after he passed away. I grabbed them before anybody took them. And then just a simple drill press, nothing fancy there, tabletop. Mortar saw, I got that used. I haven't used that a lot. I want to get a little bit better at that. Cheap scroll saw. Oscillating spindle sander. And this works pretty good. I've got a nice 12-inch DeWalt planer. My old shop, I just didn't have enough room. You know, I'd like to get big, beefy tools, but I still don't have enough room. I mean, I can't get a 17-inch planer in here. It'll just take up too much room. And I have just a simple joiner planer. That's something I'd probably like to upgrade. I'm not. It does all right. It's not great though. Again, all hooked up to dust collection. All on moving parts, so I can just move this around. Bandsaw, rigid. It's all right. Not a great tool. And then my miter saw. I had this in my miter saw. I had kind of a counter I built in the old shop, but this time I decided just to spend the money and get a portable bench here, and it works really well. I mean, this will allow me when I do the deck or something just to bring it with me, or if Andy needs to use it, etc. And it's a lot stabler than I thought. I thought it'd be rickety, and it really isn't. So, and then this thing, I don't know, I don't even have it out, and I guess I won't take it out right now. This was your dad's jigsaw. That's the only thing I have, and it doesn't work. It's one of those things you spend 3 days trying to get it to work, and it works for about 10 minutes and then breaks. So I think you sent me the manual. I think it's like 1933, but I still have it. So a lot of hand tools tucked away, but this is the shop. So I hope you enjoyed it. We like living out here. It's nice to have a dedicated shop, as you know, so you can just walk away from your work, not have to pick up, not have to put everything away so you can get a car in the garage. It just works out nicely that way. So hope you feel better, and hope to see you soon. If you're ever down in the cities, let us know. We'll give you a real tour. See ya.